starting today's video with a side-by-side comparison of the Tomei upgraded turbo to the factory C15 Toyota turbo. So pretty much here, side-by-side comparison of both turbos. The Tomei turbo out of the box is very good looking. The C15 is kind of beat up, old turbo. Both of them, they're OEM replacement and come with an actuator. This is the OEM actuator. The stock actuator, you pretty much stuck with one setting, which is, I think, stock boost is 8 psi, and you boost it up all the way to like 13, and that's pretty much max. I've seen people pushing 15 on this turbo, but you know, it's forcing it a little too much. On this one, you could actually change the spring of the actuator, and starting boost you could start at 12 or 15 psi, which is great. And max psi is, I think this turbo is about 25 or 27. So I was pretty curious about the diameter of the compressor housing. I think they're pretty similar. See, this is about 2.5 inches, and also this one is about 2.5 inches. Now the difference is a bore inside the housing. You see, this is nicely shaped up inside, and this one have like little concave. That's a big difference. That's why this one look a little bigger than this one. But overall, both turbos are very similar. As I mentioned, these are direct fit, plug and play onto the OEM turbo manifold. Different on the fins. See the side of the Tomei turbo. Now this is the side of the C15 OEM turbo. It's very tiny though. Looking at the back of both turbos, pretty similar. Now the OEM one, the actuator belt is actually smaller than the Tomei one. You guys see the difference? The housing is pretty much the same, right? The actuator belt and the fins from the back is a difference. The Tomei one is definitely bigger. View from the side, both turbos are pretty similar. The housing is very similar, right? This is where the turbo manifold goes into. Diameter is pretty close, and also here, this is the charge pipe. It's pretty similar as well. So a lot of people send the OEM turbo out for rebuild because of the budget and stuff. To rebuild the turbo and to have power upgraded is about $800 to $1,000. So pretty much I took a step further and spent an extra 200 bucks and I bought a brand new Tomei turbo. Definitely worth it. I haven't, you know, tested out the performance out of it yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be happy out of this. Plus, hey, I'm gonna be pushing more horsepower, so why not just get it done at once. Besides comparing the turbos, we're comparing the elbows as well. This is the stock Toyota elbow, and this is the Tomei Extreme Performance elbow. Big difference out of the box already. Very good looking, very old looking. Now there's a big difference on this. Now you see how this is round up in shape and this is curved in. So this pretty much allow more airflow to go out the pipe, and this one has some restriction here. You know, the wider or bigger, the wider or dipper. The Toyota is cast in one piece, right? The Tomei one is TIG welded all the way here at the bottom, here at the top, here on the flanges, right, for your O2 sensor. This is one piece cast. So if you're in the budget, you can still use the OEM elbow. This will direct fit into the Tomei turbo. But if you're not, hey, you're already there with $150 more. Just get something out of the box, brand new, TIG welded. Pretty much you're gonna have more juice out of this pipe than with this one. Like I mentioned, this one's gonna have more airflow out than this one because of the clearance inside. You see how wide and nice is this one? This one is actually pretty tight. It's very tiny. So pretty much the teardown of the 240 continues. If you guys know, I pulled the turbo out yesterday. It was a pain in the ass. We got it down. So basically I'm going to be working on the driver's side now. I'm going to be draining the oil, taking the oil cooler lines out, the relocation kit, everything. The power steering, all this stuff is going to be out today. Hopefully by tomorrow we should be able to pull the motor out. Before we pull the motor out, we're going to service the motor inside the car. I already explained to you guys why. Also, we're going to start cutting the upper radiator support and start taking the whole front end out. Now we're going to leave the motor as it is for now. It's easier like this to service this because everything is still attached to the car. That actually prevents the crankshaft to spin. And also we're going to be doing the 2J oil pump modification. That's going to give us more pressure and more oil flow into the block. So pretty much pull a whole bunch of stuff out of the car today. The oil filter relocation, oil cooler, took part of the oil out, boxed up everything just to prevent any leak. We try to work as organized as we can this year. We don't want to have another mess. Like when we started, the project, it was really bad. I remember I was watching those videos. Oh my god, it's terrible. Here's the wiring. I'm planning on probably to cut it somewhere around in the middle, drag it in from over here, right, from the firewall, and start doing some work probably inside the cabin. The in cabin is pretty intact. Pretty much here's the wiring. It's crazy, man work. I'm planning on so pretty much here's the wiring, here's the whole harness. It's crazy. I'm planning on cutting in somewhere in the middle, drag it in from the firewall, and probably gonna start do some work inside the cabin. The in cabin is pretty intact. I don't think I'm gonna do anything inside yet. After I finish here, I'm probably gonna do the cage. But that's plan. I'm not really sure yet. I might send the car out to someone who could do the cage for me. I don't know yet. It's really depending what I got and what not. So pretty much here's the wiring. Came out from this little hole over here. Crazy, huh? The wiring, what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna chop it right in the middle, and then drag it from the firewall, and then probably gonna start doing some wiring issues, some wiring stuff inside the car. So what's left to do is basically unplug the wiring specialty harness, the heater hoses, the fuel filter. I'm running ISR motor mounts, guys, by the way, if you guys can see from over here, the orange little thingy right there. Those are ISR motor mounts. It fits really good. Sticky sway bar swapped. It's just so many work. So that's basically it. After I do all that, I still have to cut the front. I want to get this done too, so I could just drag the motor forward instead of like bringing 90 degree. There's limited space in here. Like I said, I don't know how I dumped the motor in. That was crazy. I need to replace the power steering pump. So time to time when I'm driving, I don't have power steering, so I figure the power steering is going to be bad soon. You need this to pass tag. Let's clean up the garage. It looks nice and clean, very comfortable to work with.